Have you ever filmed something that looked incredible on your camera screen? Bright skies, deep shadows, but when you got into the editing, it was a mess? The highlights were blown out, the shadows were muddy, and there was no way to fix it? There's a simple setting that could have saved that shot, and it's called shooting in log. Today, I'm going to show you why log can completely change the way you shoot. We're talking more detail, more creative control, and a future-proof way to capture your work. Whether you're making YouTube videos, wedding films, or cinematic projects, log is the tool that can take your footage to the next level. Let's dive in. Let's start with what log actually does. It captures a wider dynamic range. Dynamic range is the difference between the darkest shadows and the brightest highlights your camera can see. The more range you capture, the more detail you preserve in both ends of the image. Shooting in log is like packing for a trip. With a standard profile, you can only bring a few outfits. You have to choose what to leave behind. With log, it's like you have an expandable suitcase you can fit way more in. So when you reach your destination, in this case the edit, you have everything you need to create the look you want. For example, if you shoot in a standard Rec. 709 profile and there's a bright sky behind your subject, chances are that sky is going to blow out completely white. You'll lose the details in the clouds and the color in the light. But with log, you'll see the subtle cloud shapes, the gradient in the sky's color, and the overall image just feels more real. According to Cinedy's 2024 dynamic range tests, log profiles like S-log, C-log, and V-log can hold up to 14 stops of dynamic range, compared to 6 to 7 in standard profiles. That's like doubling the safety net for your highlights and shadows. And here's the thing, detail isn't just about what looks good. It's about giving yourself room to work with later. Without it, your options in editing are severely limited. The second reason to shoot in log is creative control. When you shoot in a standard picture profile, the look is baked into your footage. Contrast, saturation, and color balance are all locked in. That means if you want to change the mood, adjust skin tones, or match it with another camera, you're limited. Log, on the other hand, gives you a flat, low-contrast starting point. It may look dull out of the camera, but that's exactly what makes it powerful. You get to decide the contrast, the saturation, and the overall feel of the image during editing. As Roger Deakins once explained, one of the greatest challenges for any cinematographer is making sure every shot works together as part of a unified whole, so the film feels consistent and no single shot distracts from the story. Shooting in log makes that possible. It gives you the flexibility to craft that consistency in post-production, shaping the mood and the style so everything feels cohesive from start to finish. And yes, it does take more time in post, but the flexibility can save a shot and let you tell the story exactly how you envisioned it. The third reason to shoot in log is that it's future-proof. Right now, more platforms are shifting to HDR, high dynamic range content. If you shoot in a standard picture profile today, you might be stuck with footage that can't take advantage of those new formats. Log gives you the ability to regrade your footage years later. Say you shot a project 5 years ago, if it was in log, you could re-edit it for HDR and still make it look modern. If it was shot in Rec. 709, you'd be limited by what's already baked into the file. Statista reports HDR adoption in streaming platforms has grown by 20% in just the past 2 years, and that number is climbing. Now, I wouldn't be doing you any favors if I didn't give you a couple quick tips for shooting log right away. First, expose slightly brighter than you would in Rec. 709, about 1 or 2 stops over. This is called ETTR, or expose to the right. It keeps your shadows clean and reduces noise. Second, use tools like zebras, false color, or a histogram to monitor your exposure. Log doesn't look right on your camera's screen, so exposure aids are your best friend for making sure you're not blowing out the highlights or crushing the shadows. Third, plan for grading. Shooting in log means you'll spend time in post, so factor that into your workflow. Fourth, if possible, use a second monitor with a Rec. 709 LUT applied to your log footage. This gives you and your client an approximate idea of what the final graded image will look like while you're still capturing all the flexibility of log. So let's recap. Log captures more detail, gives you creative control, and keeps your work future-proof. It's a little extra work, but the payoff in the image quality and the flexibility is absolutely worth it. Are you already shooting in log? If not, what is holding you back? If you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and let me know what you're working on. Let's continue pushing each other to learn, create, and grow as storytellers. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.